It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be doing a tier list of the power forward position in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. Have a little over 50 guys here. A lot of the guys, let's say, like a Paul Millsap, right? I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about, just because you know what you're getting out of a guy like Paul Millsap, a guy like, Thoroughman, Xavier McDaniel. I've spent a lot of time talking about them. So I'm going to spend about probably 15 seconds per card and get through this relatively quickly and hopefully under 20 minutes or so. Now, before we dive any further, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys do smash that subscribe button. We're on the road towards 120,000 subscribers. Evoed up Anthony Davis. I put him a little bit too high on my top 100 list. There's no doubt about it. But 80 is still solid enough in my team. I mean, 6'10", good frame, 40 Hall of Famers, decent straight up and down release. Sure, maybe would like it to be a little bit quicker, stuff like that. But there's really not many flaws in Anthony Davis. As he comes as how he can stay. You don't need to do anything else to the card. I like him. Defensively, is very, very stout. Only 6. The only downside is the fact that he is only 6'10", but really solid in my team. Bam up next. I'm going to go C tier with Bam. I think Bam is honestly, at this stage, underrated. Did get that Evo to a Dark Matter to make him that little bit better. I mean, and outside of that, I still do like Bam. I still think the card is really solid in general. I mean, I don't see many flaws in the card, and I think at this stage of my team, that's what matters, is how many flaws does the card have, because everybody can kind of do their thing at this stage, and for me, Bam being 6'9" is kind of the only hold-up release. Easy enough to time in my team, gonna play solid enough defense for you guys. I just don't see a lot wrong with the card. Evoed up Jokic up next, and I gotta say, Evoed up Jokic, in my opinion, is A tier. I think he's definitely better than a guy like AD. He's got a good release. The only, again, downside is, you guys might not think this is a downside, but it is the fact that, look, Jokic is only going to be 6'11". And you guys, again, might not think that's a downside, but at the end of the day, it is. I mean, the fact that he is only 6'11" hurts his value, just in general. I do like the card overall. I think his release is much better than a guy like Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo. That's why I'm a little bit higher on him. I'll go A tier. Alonzo Mourning, if he's not S tier, it's because of his height, right? So right now I'm going to put him at S tier. We might have to move him down eventually. But the height with Alonzo Mourning is the only really hold up for me, real hold up. I think as far as the rest of the card is concerned, everything else is nearly perfect. I like his height. I like his frame. I think in general, those things do help the card out. Now, not his height, but just, I like everything else about that, right? About the card. I like his movement. I like his release. His height holds him back. That's what I kind of meant to say. I don't even know what I was getting on for a little bit there. His height holds him back, but everything else is nearly perfect. So what I mean to say is, don't let his height fool you. His frame is good. I know he's only 6'10", but his player model and frame in my team is pretty good. Everything else about the card is perfect. Wall base. I'm gonna go S tier with the card. Artis Gilmore. If you do reach 6,000 points in my team unlimited, you get an incredible card in Artis Gilmore. And if you know, you know. Gonna try to get a gameplay of Artis as soon as possible. But again, you've got to sweat my team unlimited. And honestly, who's having fun sweating unlimited in late May, especially with everybody having Manute Bol? It's just not necessarily that fun. I will say the card is really, really solid in my team. I personally like his release probably more than the average person does, and again, that's just my personal bias with the Vanderbilt based stuff like that. But I think Artis Gilmore is incredible. 7'2", can play the power forward position, can have a lot of fun with him there. Pettit, I'm gonna go B tier with Bob Pettit. Look, he's just undersized for the forward, basically, is all there is to it. Way better at that power, or at the small forward position, just because he's gonna compete better there, right? He's not gonna get bullied at that small forward position. Power forward, guys, he's only 6'9", okay? 6'9". I'm not gonna sit here and say his frame's bad, because I don't necessarily believe that. But if you're only 6'9", I just think, you're leaving a lot on the table, especially when you're going to be up against guys like Manute, guys like, let's say, even Bol, guys like Chet. You're just putting a lot of pressure on yourself if you are just that little bit undersized. Bol up next. I'm sorry, this hero Bol, the other Bol for me, though they're all S tier. If you don't like Bobo at this stage of my team, you're doing something wrong. The card is absolutely immaculate in my team. I'm not saying he's got to be your personal favorite power forward in the game, but you've got to at least respect what Bobo can do on the court. Incredible frame, good movement, can get, whatever he wants basically on the court. I'm in love with Bobo in my team. I think the card is tough to beat at both the power forward and small forward position. Now, honestly, guys, I do think there are better options, but he's up there at that position. Scalabrini up next, and I gotta go B tier. If I'm gonna have Bob Pettit at B tier, Scal's gotta be B tier as well. And I like Scal. He's just a little bit undersized. And I think that's my real only holdup with Scal, because his release is good, gonna play good defense. He's just a little undersized. Another one of those guys I think at the small forward position is gonna be quite a bit better than he is at that power forward position. Chet up next. I gotta go S tier with Chet. Eventually, I'm gonna have to move some guys around because not every one of these cards is going to be in S tier, but it's hard for me not to put him at S tier with what I've seen the card do. I mean, again, at the small forward position, probably better, but even at the power forward position, absolutely elite. Chris Bosh, I don't love Chris Bosh. I probably would go B tier, but I don't love the card. My whole thing is, at the power forward position, who is better, him or Bob Pettit, Scal? That's the thing I'm really struggling with. I guess I'll put him at B tier for now. No, you know what? I'm going to move some guys around. I'm going to do it like this. This is what I got to do because there is some guys that really stink. Gallinari stinks. I'm not going to put that many people in F tier, but Gallo absolutely stinks. When I first used the card, I was like, you know what? I don't think he's bad. No, Gallo absolutely is dog water in my team. I'm not going to let people get by with typing this card up, talking this card up. He absolutely stinks in my team, and nobody should be using or hyping up Gallinari. His release stinks. I mean, I know he's 6'10 and he has a decent amount of player, but I don't care. Gallinari absolutely stinks in my team, and if you are using him, you need to seek immediate help because this card stinks. He stinks it up. Danny Ferry, a card that doesn't stink. At this stage of the power forward position, though, I don't know if I can go any higher than C tier. I mean, maybe into B tier because honestly, I can't. I can't put him any higher than a guy like Pettit, a guy like Scal, even though you guys might want to. I like Ferry, though. I think the card is... Oh, I'm going to put it B tier. He's taller than Pettit and Scal, and I think he's better than Bosh. I'm putting him in B tier. I know a lot of guys aren't going to like it. That's where I'm going to put him, and that's where I'm going to put Dave Cowens as well. Dave Cowens, Bob Pettit, the cards are... No, I can't do it like that. I can't do it. Because look, if Cowens, Bob Pettit's going to have to go up, and I don't want to have to do that. So I guess this is where I'm going to have everybody at C tier, although I'm not going to lie. I don't know if you guys are going to like this, but it's where I've got to do it because I can't keep, hyping up these random cards more than others if they are objectively basically the same or going to give you somewhat of the same in my team. DeMarcus Boogie Cousins, the hero version's got to be C tier. I don't love Boogie in my team, but again, I respect the card enough to put him in that C tier. Look, if you like DeMarcus Cousins, you can run him still to this day. He can compete. Obviously, I do think there are better options considering I don't run DeMarcus Cousins, but again, if he's a card you like to run, do what you got to do. You can run him and have a decent amount of success with the card in my team. Deadlift Shrimp at power forward, I'm going to go C tier. Again, another guy, small forward, going to be way better than he is at power forward. But that's just kind of the game now, right? It's just kind of how it is. Everybody's better at small forward than power forward because height runs the game. Nonetheless, Deadlift is fine in my team at that power forward position. Great release. To Kevin Mutombo, finally, a card I can hype up. I'm going to throw Mutombo in A tier. Look, you could have him at S tier if you really like the card. I just don't think I can be quite in that S tier, but I love Mutombo. I'm going to put him at A tier, and I have no issues with doing that. Next up, Mr. Dirk, and Dirk at the power forward position is S tier. I know his upper is kind of gross. I'd be the first to admit it. I don't love Dirk's upper, but what about the rest of the card, right? The rest of Dirk is immaculate. The Tim Duncan upper, it's one you kind of got to get used to. It's quick enough because of his base. You got to get used to it. Defensively, this Dirk's not going to be lights out, but should be solid enough to compete. Again, 7-1. He is absolutely elite. Sabonis, I guess I'll go B tier with Sabonis. I like Sabonis. Do I love Sabonis? No. And I think that's the best way to phrase it. He's 7'1", so he's going to have a decent frame. But his release, not great. Defensively is pretty solid. I will give him credit where it's due. Defensively should get you a lot of stops. But again, for me, I just think there are better overall power forwards in my team. Just more complete. Can handle the ball well. I like his frame. He's got a lot of Hall of Famers. I think B tier is the right spot for Mr. Sabonis. D12, another B tier player. I low-key want to move Sabonis higher, but I just don't love the release of Domantas Sabonis, and I think that's ultimately what's going to hold him back for me. Again, I don't mind the card, though, so if you're up here, you know, saying, oh my gosh, Ty, you hyped him up in your gameplay. I don't mind Sabonis. I just don't love his release, and how many times did I green with Sabonis in the gameplay? Probably not too many, and I do think that is what holds him back. Mobley up next. I gotta go C tier with Mobley. He is tall and he's gonna compete defensively. So if that's what you want out of a card, Mobley's gonna be able to do it. The problem for me and Evan Mobley is I feel like defensively, he just leaves that little bit to be desired. I'm not saying the card's bad. I'm just saying defensively, I think, you know, you can find better options. Just as an overall card, you can find better options in my team. I do like him defensively. His release, just not great. This Kristaps Porzingis is still S tier. I'm gonna go A tier with Kareem and A tier with D-Rob. If you can name a better power forward than KP outside of, you know, maybe Artis, maybe, you know, Manu, let me know because I am eager to hear who you guys would have higher. I love KP in my team. I still don't think the card is necessarily worth his price because I think we're going to see a new KP really, really soon. But for how he is right now, I don't have a problem with him at all. And again, that is my personal opinion. If you don't like KP, do what you guys got to do. But I think KP is absolutely elite in my team. Can stretch the floor, plays good defense, and just as an overall card, gets the job done. I like his release. Should green basically every shot for you. And again, is 7-3. For D-Rob and Kareem, pretty self-explanatory. The cards are really good in my team. Greg Oden up next. And I think Greg Oden has got to be at C tier for this stage. For his time, I didn't mind him. But, I mean, let's be honest. Greg Oden's time has came and went. I don't know who needs to hear it. His time has came and went. If you want to do what you need to do with the card, go ahead. I just don't love him in my team. E. Jinlian at this stage, C tier, I guess. He's not horrible. I am going to plug in some guys that I really don't like, though. Claxton at this stage is D tier. Shaq, D tier. Shaq can't shoot. I'm not going to hype up a card that can't shoot. Simbular, D tier. He's tall, but can't really do much else for you on the court. Is there any other D tier or lower cards? I don't think there is. I mean, I don't think there is. Maybe you could move some other cards down, but I really don't think there is. I guess Dino Raj is D tier. I like Dino, but he is objectively D tier for this stage. Now to the good stuff. Purvis. I want to put Purvis at B tier. This is tough. Because C tier, you're either tall and not that skilled, or you're undersized and really skilled. And for me, Purvis is good. He is just that undersized, though. And so I got to put him at C tier. But again, I like Purvis. I'm not trying to sit here and slander Purvis. It's just the way it is. He's a little bit undersized. I can't put him any higher than C tier and, you know, be okay with it. Next up, Invincible Giannis. The power forward position, I'm going to go A tier. Nah, that's not fair, though. Okay, I'm going to have to adjust S tier. Alonzo go down. I mean, is this what I've got to do? Move Jokic down. Move AD. I don't know what. I'm so confused on this tier list. I think this is where I'm at with A tier. I'm going to move KP up and just leave it at this. I don't know, though. It's getting so tough to do in my team because, look, there are so many absolutely elite players. It's just, I've said it before and I'll say it again. A lot of what I do is personal preference, and that's what it is. Like, if you think Dirk's better than Giannis, do what you guys got to do. I think a lot of it is personal preference. I like Giannis's D more. It's going to be what it is. This tier list is hard. I just got to kind of say that right now. Hakeem at this stage, B tier, I guess. B tier. He's just a little taller than a lot of the guys at C tier. I don't mind Hakeem. I'm going to put him at B tier. Worthy, C tier. If you got Worthy out of that, you know, free token event, I'm saying free the token event where if you spend 250 tokens, you get a limited time player. He's fine, but he's not great. He's not great. He's better at small forward than power forward, but either place, I don't think the card is that elite in my team. Next up, Jeremy Grant, D tier. I mean, he's just way undersized, and even for him being undersized, is he that skilled? I mean, he's fine, but he's not like that skilled that I can, you know, super hype him up in my team. He's fine, but not that next level good. Card I really do like in the power forward position is Joakim Noah. I hype up Joakim Noah until the end of time. I think this card isn't necessarily going to get talked about that much, but he's absolutely elite in my team. And if you know about Joakim Noah, you know it. He's got such a good release. can knock down shots. And if you're missing out, go watch my gameplay I did with Joakim Noah. Because trust me, the card gets the job done at an elite level in my team. Joel Embiid, I'm throwing him at C tier. I'm not hyping up Joel Embiid or even over a Hakeem. I do not like Joel Embiid in my team. If you want to hype him up, do what you got to do. For me, I've not had success with him. I don't like the card. I've got no reason to hype him up. His release is kind of a set shot. I just don't like Joel Embiid in my team. I'm going to go C tier, but maybe that's my personal bias getting in the way of it. I'm not a big believer in Joel Embiid. Bender at the 4, I mean, I guess I'll go C tier. I don't see it with Jonathan Bender. At the 3, I do see it because he's 7 feet tall, can move decently. But at the 4, his height isn't as big of an advantage as it is at the 3. So, I mean, Bender is smooth. He's got the tray upper, so if you can green with that, it's fine. Again, there's just, in my opinion, better options overall in my team. Jonathan Isaac at the 4, I guess I'll go B tier. I just think at the 4, you're not utilizing him to his full potential. He's still I'm going to go A tier. He's still probably A tier. But again, when you're talking about me and Jonathan Isaac, he's better at the 3. So run him at that small forward position. He is going to give you that little bit more. Kevin McHale, I'd be lying to say I've used Kevin McHale. I'm going to go A tier. But look, another guy, small forward position, probably going to be better. I haven't used him, so I don't know where else to go. I'm going to go A tier and leave it at that. Manute up next, S tier. Honestly, I might move everybody else down and just keep Manute Bol at S tier. He is that good, that elite in my team. And if you know with Manute Bol, you know the card is him in my team. Next up, guys, Marc Gasol, another really, really good power forward. I mean, I'm going to put him at B tier, but the high end of B tier. I've used Marc Gasol, and I got to say, I definitely did enjoy him. I mean, a lot of nobody spent guys still use Marc Gasol, have a lot of success with him. So, if he's your favorite, power forward in my team, continue to use him. I've got no issues with Marc Gasol in my team. And if you haven't used him and you are nobody spent, maybe he's worth you guys trying out. Just a thought, something to keep it in the back of your guys' minds. Mo Bamba, this Mo Bamba, I'm going to put a D tier. I don't love him. Hero Mo Bamba isn't on the list. Hero Mo Bamba, I'd actually put a B tier. I like Hero Mo Bamba a lot better than the Elemental Mo Bamba. Just something to kind of keep in the back of your minds and think about. If you are struggling at that backup power forward position, need a guy on a budget, Hero Mo Bamba is really solid in my team. This Moses Malone, I'm going C tier. At this stage, I mean, really, when you think of Moses Malone, do you think, wow, the card's incredible? Or you just think, he's fine, not necessarily a card I love? That's what I think about with Moses Malone. Miles Turner, C tier. I'd be lying to say I've used a lot of Miles Turner because I haven't. The card actually does look really good. And if he is as good, you guys can let me know down below in the comments. But for right now, throwing him at C tier. Paul Millsap at the power forward position is D tier. He's not as good, in my opinion, as a Bob Pettit, Purvis Ellison. Undersized, especially power forward position, D tier it is. Taco Fall, S tier. I know a lot of people aren't going to like it, but he's 7'6". If you are 7'6" in this game, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Yes, defensively, he leaves a little bit to be desired. I'll be the first to tell you that. But offensively, he's elite because he's 7'6". He grabs rebounds. He's just all around absolutely elite. Thurl Bailey up next. I love Thurl Bailey. Power forward position, I'll probably put him at B tier. But that's not a slander for Thurl. That's just me saying, he is really good in my team, but just not necessarily that next level good. You're going to be hard-pressed to find that many more complete players than Thurl Bailey. Definitely better at small forward. I'll 100% agree with that. But again, good luck finding more complete players than Mr. Thurl. Tim Duncan up next. I mean, C tier. What is Tim Duncan really doing for you at the power forward position? He's a cone that's going to play great defense that doesn't have a great release. I can find other guys that can do it better than Tim Duncan, to be honest with you. He's C tier. I don't love the card in my team. He's okay. But again, when you're talking top to bottom, do I love the card? I don't see it with him in general. Kukoc up next, C tier. Again, better at the small forward position. You want to sit there and hype up him, do what you got to do. That's just not going to be me in my team. I'm not going to sit there, hype up the card for a living. He's fine. If you want to run him, do what you got to do. He's just not necessarily game-breaking, next-level good. Trace McGrady, I'm putting him at F tier. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, I guess I'll go D tier. He's not that bad, but he's undersized. I mean, why am I hyping up a card that's undersized that I don't love? It just does not make sense to me. He's fine. Do what you got to do, But again, am I going to sit there and love on T-Mac? No, the card's fine. He's objectively fine in general. Tyson Chandler, honestly with Tyson, I'm going to say he's better at the center position than power forward position because he's got a good player model player build, going to get you stops. But why do I not love him at power forward? It's because of his release. I do not love his release in general, and that's why I'm personally not going to hype him up any more than this. If you want to do what you got to do, but for me, Tyson Chandler is C tier. Big Wilt up next. For Wilt, I'm going to go B tier. I don't love Wilt's release, but he is tall, okay, 7'1", long wingspan, stuff like that. But for me, unless you have a better release, I can't be much higher than B tier. Xavier McDaniel up next. Would be way higher on the small forward list, but this isn't a small forward list. So to me, he is C tier. I do like Xavier McDaniel. I mean, he's one of the most complete players I've used this year. Good release, just good all-around player. But again, he's a little bit undersized for that power forward position. Invincible Zion, it's crazy to say. Power forward position, he's B tier. He's 6'6". I mean, you want me to really hype up a Zion who is 6'6" at the power forward position? It's not happening. Maybe at the small forward position, I'd hype him up and he'd be a little bit higher. But when we're talking about the power forward position, there's a limit to how good Zion Williamson can be. And I've already talked about this Thurl Bailey, so I guess I'll put him where I put the other one, which is B tier. That is going to wrap it up for our power forward tier list. I'm really intrigued to hear your guys' thoughts and comments down below in the comments. Because again, if you want to put Bob Pettit even all the way at A tier, I wouldn't hate it. If you wanted to move, let's say, Joel Embiid to A tier, I don't hate it. Like, you can have some fluctuation with this tier list. This is just my opinion in general, with the elite of the elite being at that S tier. Again, if there was one guy I'd move up, it would be Artis Gilmore. And you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to move up Artis Gilmore because this is my list. And I love big artists. That's going to wrap it up, though. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love you guys. And have a blessed day.